6:47 your time. You're watching the Tennessee Valley this morning, and we're honored to have with us today a man that I've known for quite some time, consider him a good friend, and I think a lot of folks consider him the Cleveland-Bradley County unofficial chaplain, and that would be the Reverend Max Morris. Hello, Max.
Good morning. It's good to see you.
Good to have you with us today. Max is, of course, the head of His Hands Extended. Been going on for many 12 years. 12 years. Before we get into the celebration, tell us a little bit about your ministry, His Hands Extended. It's been going on for a long time, and it just ministers to this community.
Well, it meets twice a week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and for over 9 years we were at Pathway Bookstore.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, the store sold, and we were welcomed with open arms to come to Garden Plaza. Mm-hmm. And we're in the conference room, and those folks have been so kind to us, and we're so blessed to be at Garden Plaza every Tuesday and Thursday morning at 7 a.m.
And everybody's invited.
Everyone is invited, and we've had as many as 17 different denominations worshiping at one time.
It's just an interdenominational way to kick off your morning a couple of days a week, and I've been to it a few times. My schedule won't allow me to go now.
Yeah, you got an excuse. You say you're tied up in the morning, you can't come speak anymore.
But you have various speakers.
That's right.
Not the same person every week.
And have a different speaker every morning.
Who are some of the folks you've had, Max, from the community?
Start with you.
Oh, well, okay.
You've been there. Mr. Tom, the mayor, comes.
Tom's been there,
Pastor Alan Lockerman comes, and Pastor Ron Hill comes. Wayne Chambers, former president of the Chamber of Commerce, has been there. Jamie Work.
Yeah.
And so on. I mean, it's just, we're just so blessed, so many from Lee University and different churches. You got people who have been at Lee for 40 and 50 years teaching. They've got disciples all over the world, like Don Battle.
Yeah.
And so we're just so blessed to have you. Where can you go in a small city? We're not small,
not anymore,
like we used to be.
Anymore.
But anyway, we've got a pool of speakers that's unreal.
Yeah, we do. A lot of course, we draw a lot of that from the denominations around and from Lee University, but and even from the governments, the local governments.
And some of our lady speakers are just so phenomenal. And,
I know you've had.
Of course they are.
You've had, I know, Dwight's wife, Londa Richardson.
Londa Richardson speaks. Kay Horner speaks.
Kay Horner,
Nancy
phenomenal.
Nancy Neal speaks for us, and Kathy Payne speaks.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Kathy.
Mary Ruth Stone. And one of our largest crowds that we've had since we've been at Garden Plaza is when Ralph Buckner Jr. spoke.
Really?
And he has spoken for us twice.
Good for him.
Once last year and once this year.
And so and it's on a tight schedule. I was impressed the times that I've been there that there's no dawdling around. You get them in and get them out because of a morning. Business people on the way to work, they need to get to work. So explain how you I guess produce this 30 minutes of
Well, Dan, you know, we have an opening song called Bless This Place. And that is sung for us by recording by Rusty Lanier out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Yeah, I know.
You know Rusty?
Yeah.
He's written a lot of great songs. We open with that song. Joe Washington sings for us.
Yeah.
Jack Clark plays piano.
Right.
And Mary Beth Wicks has played piano for it. John Miles. You know John Miles?
I do know John Miles.
John Miles can just do anything. And of course we record the service, and just like we have a radio broadcast that comes out of that every Sunday morning, we start at 6:30 on My Mix 104 with an hour of worship. And we have 30 minutes of good music, and then we go right into the devotional. We have played your last sermon at least twice on the radio broadcast.
Really? Well, I'm honored.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
It's great message.
Thank you.
I went to high school with Joe Washington. Great guy.
Oh.
But the funny thing about it is, you know, when you're in high school, I had no idea Joe could sing like that. And now, you know, I hear him and I'm thinking, where were you when we had high school choir and we're looking for guys to sing in the choir?
Yes. Well, he's phenomenal. He's faithful, and he'll call me and say, Max, I can't be there tomorrow, or I can't be there next week. And so we got others that step in and sing, and this community is so blessed. I was thinking while he's wanting a name for the city, we might call it the Singing City.
Oh,
Well,
that's true.
Remember, I said it first.
Yeah, you
Okay.
tell Suze that.
Sue,
Max
get the
said
date
the
and
Singing
time
City.
on that one, yes.
The Singing City.
That's great.
It's amazing how so many people, hundreds, thousands of people have been blessed through that Tuesday and Thursday morning worship service, and it lasts about 30 minutes.
30 minutes, and since we started on September 21st, 1999, right at 90,000 total attendance. People have come through the doors for those devotionals.
That's amazing. Well, what inspired you to start this morning devotion? It's just, I mean, you were retired, but you're not really retired, are you?
You know, Dan, it's like Jeremiah said, this thing shut up in my bones like fire. And where do you retire? Where does a minister ever retire?
Yeah, that's true.
And so the Lord dealt with my heart, and I wrestled with Him for 2 years, and finally got to the place where I couldn't even hardly breathe until I yielded. He said to me, I want you to do an interdenominational devotional in the city, and bring the churches together, bring the people together, and worship me. He told me one morning, he said, all I want from you is your worship. That's all I want from you is your worship.
And that's what the folks do on Tuesday.
And so that's what we do. We come to worship, and just like the mayor spoke one morning, said, when we came in here today, we laid our swords down at the door. So nobody comes in representing a denomination. We're representing God.
That's right.
And so when the Lord laid on our heart, I fought it for 2 years. And our very first speaker, he's no longer with us, he's gone on to be with the Lord, was Reverend Bob Bell from Westwood Baptist.
Yes, I remember him fondly.
I made an appointment to go see Bob, and told him what was in my heart. He looked at me across the table and said, we don't need another wheel in this town to be greased. And I said, Bob. He said, yeah, we don't need anything else to be greased in this city. I said, but Bob, I'm smothering. I've got to do this. And the Lord has laid on my heart to ask you to come speak. He said, I'll do it. And so that very first morning we had 25 people. And from
That's good for a kickoff.
That first morning we had 25 people. And from that, over at Pathway, it got up to 200 on Tuesdays and Thursday mornings.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Now, at Garden Plaza, how many can you hold in that?
Probably a
conference room?
maximum of 150 in the conference room.
Okay.
And there's plenty of parking.
Plenty of parking.
Oh, yes.
So,
And another thing, they said, when you come to Garden Plaza, we're going to give you free coffee and some kind of pastry every morning you
and
come.
they do
And
that.
they have done it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Esmeralda.
Esmeralda Lee
Oh, isn't
said,
she wonderful?
come
Yes.
with open arms, and the people look forward to getting that cup of coffee
bet they
and a
do.
pastry. And we're so thankful to Forrest Preston,
Yeah.
Beecher Hunter, for that great facility.
Yeah.
It's
It is a
beautiful
landmark in
facility.
our
It
city.
is.
I think Beecher's spoken at the.
Beecher has spoken. He's coming back in just a few weeks to speak again.
Good for you.
Well, I always notice in the paper, because you always have it in the paper, so we'll know ahead of time who your speakers are for
Yeah.
Tuesday and for Thursday.
That's
So
right.
I'm glad you do that, so that those who do get up early, and you and I've discussed this, I'm not an early riser. This one day a week is just about the end of me, but if I were an early riser, that would be one thing I would do, because I think that interdenominational worship is wonderful.
Well, you mentioned something there that is very important, and the banner has been so kind and good. Gwen Swigert, Mary Matthews, Pam Green, all the staff over there, Dave Davis, they just go the extra mile. This is a community event.
Yes.
And so they have been so kind to help us by putting those things in the newspaper
That
for
is
us.
amazing.
I
And
know
of
it's in there
course,
every week.
the worship evolved through the years, and then later you began the Freedom Celebration.
Freedom
So
well, we started the Freedom Celebration in the year 2000.
Oh, really?
The first July 4th, we had it at Pathway Bookstore.
And
So
talk
this is
about-
our
I remember
12th.
that.
This is our 12th.
12th year. So it's older actually than the morning devotion.
No, the morning devotion started in September of '99. The
99.
devotional came in 2000.
2000. Okay, I got my facts straight now. But it's grown into a really big community event. The time I was there, I think there was over 600, maybe 700 people there.
Well, we never know. We set up about 600, 700, 800 chairs, and of course we were at high school for several of them. We were at Pathway Bookstore.
Yeah.
One year we rented 600 chairs to bring in, just in addition to what the chairs already at the bookstore. But we went to the high school. But when they went into construction, we had to change. And so then Peerless Road Church of God of Prophecy welcomed us to their campus. And what a facility that is.
Pastor
It is. It's a
Wilson.
beautiful facility.
It's ground level. If you got you in a wheelchair, you can come right in. It's easy. If it's raining, you got an overhang on both sides of the building, and you got great parking.
Yeah, lots of parking, and Pastor Steve Wilson Of course, very community-minded and wants to be a part of that, I'm sure.
And for
But-
anyone who doesn't happen to know where that church is, it's actually across the street from Cleveland High School.
Yeah, right at the
In
end
the
of
Raider,
Hills.
in the Raider Drive.
In
Raider
Raider
Drive.
Drive. You just drive right into it.
Yeah, and park and go into the gymnasium on the left as
Beautiful
you go
facility.
Either side.
in. Either side.
You can
If
go
you
in.
one side, it's on the right. If you go on the other side, it's on the left.
Right.
But it's happening on July 4th.
Yes.
What's the time?
The doors will open at 9, and our greeters, of course, will be there earlier than that. But Danny and Voices will be setting up, and they're going to be in Charlotte Sunday night.
Oh.
And he's driving in all night to get here and set up the equipment and be ready to go. But the doors will open at 9, and the service begins at 10.
Yeah, and Danny Murray and the Voices of Lee kind of become a tradition for that particular community service.
I told Danny years ago, I said, I really don't, he's been with us all 12. I said, don't want to do this without you.
Yeah. Well, I don't blame you.
Yeah. And everybody, just like I spoke to a man yesterday, he said, is that the one that was on TV that I voted for to win?
Yeah.
I said, oh yeah, that's the group.
That's the one. And they were in fine voice last night. They provided some music for the Red Cross banquet. Wow, they've got some kids that can sing.
Oh, they're phenomenal. I have a CD going at the shop right now, the Voices of Lee's Patriotic CD.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'll just play that this week at the shop because it's 4th of July week and
Absolutely.
everybody just needs to listen to this
Yeah.
great patriotic music.
Yeah. So Monday, Independence Day, July 4th, Peerless Road, Church of God of Prophecy in the gymnasium, open to the community. Everybody's welcome. Voices of Lee, the world famous Voices of Lee, will be there. Danny Murray and the Voices of Lee. And what else will the community expect on that?
Well, Jack Clark will be there playing the piano.
Oh,
Everybody
okay.
knows
He's
Jack.
Oh,
phenomenal.
Jack's a good
Yes,
friend.
he's
And
phenomenal.
Mary Beth Wicks.
Yeah.
You know, Mary Beth was in the Spurlows as a vocalist,
Yeah.
not as an instrumentalist. But she's going to be doing a piano solo for us. She's never done a piano solo for us.
Really?
So we're looking forward to that. And of course, Kevin Mendel will be playing trombone. Perry Horner will be playing trombone. And then we got one of the greatest voices ever in Andrea Dismukes.
Oh, she is
Oh,
fantastic.
my goodness.
And she'll be singing the Lord's Prayer and the national anthem. And of course, 3 days later, the quartet from First Baptist. And you mentioned Joe Washington. And that is a fantastic group of young men that can sing.
Yeah.
And they, to my opinion, they're as good as any professional group
Yeah.
growing.
Is that the one Steve Crump is in?
That's right, Steve
Yeah,
Crumpson.
I've heard them sing.
They are
Who
good.
knew that an attorney could sing like that?
Jerry Burrell's in that group, Chad Smith, and
Yeah.
Joe Washington
Yeah.
will be singing with them.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Kevin Mendel and his wife and sister-in-law will be singing, Kevin Mendel singers. And the mayor will be greeting. We got him, he's been with us every year.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the retired Navy chaplain, Jerry McNabb.
Wonderful.
And he always has a prayer for us as our benediction.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Well, it's going to be an exciting day, and so we hope you'll make that a part of your weekend as we celebrate the nation's, I think it's the 225th.
25th. You said that the other morning, and I counted in my.
Am I right?
I think that's right.
Okay, 225th
that's-
birthday. Go out and celebrate right with Max
10
and the
o'clock at
group.
Peerless Road Church on July the 4th, but the doors open at 9.
At 9.
Yeah,
So come on and do a little socializing and
sure.
meet your neighbors,
Yeah.
and then stay for the service at 10
Yeah.
o'clock.
Great.
I've been to it, and you'll be glad that you went. You really feel patriotic when you leave. Boy,
Well,
it's
when the Voices sing our final song, God Bless America,
uh-huh.
I lose it, right?
Yeah.
If I haven't lost it before then, I lose it then.
It's going to be a great time, and I hope that you will put that on your calendar for Monday and have a great weekend and culminate with that celebration at Peerless Road Church of God of Prophecy. Max,
Let me
go
say
ahead.
one thing. We start back with our devotion. We're having a little summer break
Sure.
right now. But our first devotion will be July 5th at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
July 5th.
And our speaker will be Wayne Chambers.
Great. Well, Max, it's always good to see you.
Thank you. It's good
Thanks
to
for-
see you.
It was
Thanks,
wonderful to meet you.
thanks for having me on.
Thanks for
We're
getting
so
up
glad you
early.
were
A lot of
here.
people say, you got to come in early, and they're grown, you know. They
Oh,
don't
Max
want to
already
get up there.
informed me. He beat me here this morning. I always beat you here, but Max beat me here this morning.
God
But it's-
bless you all, and thank you so much
Thank
for all you
you,
do
Max.
for the community.
Thank you.
Max. 7:01, back in just a moment. Don't go away.
Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep, located at 511 South Lee Highway in Cleveland, is your #1 Dodge Chrysler and Jeep dealer in this area. Stop by and see the brand new 2011 Chrysler 200. The 200 is essentially a new nameplate with a significant facelift to the outgoing 2010 Chrysler Sebring. A beautiful vehicle at an unbeatable price. And while you're there, check out the all-new Jeep Grand Cherokee and the newly designed Dodge Durango. Redesigned, revamped, and reinvigorated. Yes, the Dodge Durango is back, bigger and better than ever. Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep offers a complete parts and service department with qualified service technicians to fix and repair your vehicle. So for your next brand new or pre-owned vehicle, make it Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep, located at 511 South Lee Highway in Cleveland.
Hello, I'm Pastor Greg Casto of the United Christian Church here at 2200 Peerless Road, Cleveland, Tennessee. I want you to make plans right now to be here at our Holy Ghost Camp Meeting 2011 with signs, wonders, and miracles. Why don't you go to our website right now and get all the information or call the number on the screen, because you're not going to want to miss these day service, evening service, great speakers, choirs, singers, such great talent. You're going to want to be here in Cleveland, Tennessee.
I'm Wes Robbins with Landmark Insurance Brokerage. When it comes to employee benefits, we've got you covered. Call me today for the best service and best solutions to your group health and employee benefits needs. At Landmark Insurance Brokerage, we've got you covered.
I'm Dr. James Markham, host of the television program Heart of Health, seen right here on WTNB television, Thursday at 7 o'clock, Friday at 8 a.m., or Sunday at 3:30 p.m.
Volunteer Ridipest LLC has been serving Cleveland and the surrounding areas for over 40 years. Their qualified, experienced technicians are trained in all the latest techniques to keep your home pest-free. Volunteer Ridipest LLC offers Mosquito Guard, which keeps mosquitoes out of your yard and out of your life. Their monthly and quarterly treatments are backed by their 100% money-back guarantee. For all your pest removal needs, call Volunteer Ridipest LLC today at 423-472-7736.
Special thanks to Max Morris for coming in and sharing with us this morning about the Freedom Celebration. Hope you'll put that on your calendar. A couple of headline news items this morning. The Bradley County Sheriff's Office looking for 2 suspects who were seen fleeing a burglary on Kincaid Road yesterday. The suspects reportedly kicked open a rear door to the residence, waking the 68-year-old woman who lived there. The woman checked out the noise, came face to face with one of the suspects who said, "Excuse me," and then ran away. The suspects are males with dark hair. Both were seen wearing blue jeans and T-shirts. The Morris family of Bates Point in Bradley County has been chosen by A&E Network as the recipients of a new home. That construction began on Tuesday, will be shown on the network's new show, Disaster Guy. Jerry and Betty Morris were trapped inside their destroyed home when the tornadoes hit on April 27. The producer of the show said construction of this type normally takes about a year. They're going to be done in 2 weeks. Birthday today, Roxanne Varlack Corbett. I knew her when she was just a child, and she's still just, well, she's probably 29. I don't really know, but happy birthday to Roxanne Varlack. She's been a co-host here with me on the show, and hope that if you see Roxanne, you'll wish her a very happy birthday. Also, Jen, who works back in the back, and she's controlling the microphones and the cameras and all the
voice
other
from
stuff.
the mountains.
Yeah, she's the voice from the whatever, but she's behind me in the control room here. And she said, "Can you mention that it's Canada Day?" And I said, "Why would you want to do that?" And she said, "Because I'm from Canada." She's a graduate of Lee University, doing a great job here at the station. And today is Canada Day. So we wish all the Canadians a happy Independence Day. It's their Independence Day. Who knew? So happy Canada Day, and especially for Jennifer. That's your headline news. Let's take a look at your forecast. It's shaping up pretty good. Right now it's a very pleasant 65 degrees on this Friday morning. Pretty good weekend shaping up. A high of 92, 93 tomorrow, 95 on Sunday with a slight chance of rain, but who knows? That's just a slight chance. Right now it's 65 and it's 7:06, and we're back, and we have Rochelle Mayberry with us. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Good to have you with us today.
Hey, I'm glad to be here.
She's awful perky for so early in the morning.
She is. There's something about these Lee students and people that are affiliated with Lee, how they can get up perky in the morning. I'm not a perky person.
It's kind of
in the
foreign
morning,
to
no.
us.
Yes, I'm
foreign
not perky in the
concept
morning.
for us.
Now, 11, 12, 1 at night, I'm perky, but I'm not perky early in the morning.
Rochelle's a very special person who has been extremely involved, as we were talking during the break, in this disaster recovery. She is a graduate of Lee. A little bit of background about you. You're a graduate of Lee, but you're actually working on your, is it master's or
Yes, sir.
doctorate? Working
My
on the
master's.
master's. She's also a AmeriCorps Vister. Listen to that. You can tell I'm from the South.
Spit it out, boy.
AmeriCorps Vista.
Yes.
Volunteer person. I don't know what you call
Volunteer
it.
in Service to America.
There you go.
There you go.
She's one of those. And she does it all. She works with William Lamb, who is the head of the Leonard Center. And when the disaster hit, William Lamb actually put Rochelle on loan to the director of the Emergency Management Agency, and Rochelle became the liaison between the EMA department's director and all the disaster relief agency, which was a huge job. When you got 18 or 20 agencies,
And especially when it's a disaster and it's
and
not one that you had planned for at all.
Yeah, and the
affected so many
EMA, of
people.
course, the lead agency, and the director has to kind of coordinate all the disaster relief. It's important to have a very competent liaison, and she is one.
Hey, they
There
made it
you go.
easy on me. These
Did they?
agencies know what they're doing.
Oh, but it was. I got an opportunity to work with Rochelle a lot there in the EMA during the disaster relief and recovery, and what a pleasant surprise that was to interact and get acquainted with Rochelle. And she's here today because she's in charge still, the chair of the Volunteer Relations Committee.
Yeah, I'm honored to be able to do
Yeah,
it.
well, tell us about that. What your role has kind of evolved as
Yeah.
the recovery began to evolve.
Yeah.
So tell us what your role is now.
Well, we have the long-term recovery organization at this point, and they're doing a phenomenal job. They are looking toward the long term at this point, so we've got past that initial stage, and we're looking to a 2 to 4 year process. And so they've asked me to jump in and try to continue helping with the volunteer effort and things like that, and there's a lot of need there. So we're working hard to try and rally everyone and get everybody involved in the effort.
And volunteers, even though the disaster is not in the forefront of our minds like it was in the first 2 or 3 weeks, Nancy, volunteers still needed, aren't they?
They're so needed, and they're needed in a lot of different ways. I think that's one thing everybody has in their mind, maybe a certain way that they're able to get involved, but there are so many ways that you can get involved. We need data entry, we need people to help make phone calls. There's still a lot of cleanup, over 150 cleanup jobs as of yesterday morning that still need to be done. We're going to be heading into rebuilding soon, probably the beginning of September. That's going to be a big launch. We're going to need help then. So even if you can just write a thank you card, that's a need that's coming up because we have tons of teams coming in from out of state. We really want to be able to appreciate them for the work they're doing in Bradley County and Cleveland. So there's a lot of ways to get involved.
A lot of details to take care of, and that's Rochelle is detail oriented, does a great job. But
got a great team.
I noticed yesterday I was talking to Rob Alderman, who will be on here in a little while. Was very involved in the Bradley Baptist Association chainsaw
The
gang.
chainsaw gang.
And I understand that they're still taking care of needs. You know, I thought, being involved, I thought all that was over and done with. But no, they're still out cutting down trees and clearing brush, aren't they?
Yeah, we have about 3 to 5 teams coming in from out of state every week.
Yeah.
And the chain gang is part of that. They're out, they're cutting. That's a big need right now is chainsaws, gas cards, to keep them funded because a lot of them are paying out of pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned data entry. Someone sitting home not able to do heavy lifting or run a chainsaw. Where would you need data entry at, Rochelle?
Yeah, well, we've got a volunteer database, but to kind of keep track of all that information, but it doesn't work unless you have all the data in it. So we had someone amazing volunteer to work on that database for us, but now we need people to help us enter in all the information and things. So most of that's happening at 2960 Barney's Lane at the distribution center. We've got computers set up there. There are phone calls to be made to check in with people. We'd like to check in on the cleanup jobs that we have to make sure that they still need it. The chain gang hasn't come and stopped in and done their work. So
Now that distribution center, that's the Salvation Army distribution center, is that
yeah,
correct?
they're a huge part of that. There's a lot of agencies involved in that effort,
Sure.
But Salvation Army hired Monica Luthley. She's the distribution manager there, and they are taking care of that facility, helping disaster victims, and it's also serving as a volunteer hub. So.
Oh yeah, it's a big, big facility.
I
It
see
is.
this note right
Great.
here. Dad's making a difference.
Yeah.
Tell everybody about that.
Oh goodness, it's pretty phenomenal. If you guys haven't heard about it, Matt Ryerson has made it to the top 10 finalist list for the Sears Blue Tool Crew. I always mess that up when I try to say it, but he's a top 10 finalist for that, and we're really excited. And you guys can vote on Facebook if you go to the Sears Blue Tool Crew Facebook page. Under the DMD link, the Dad's Making a Difference, his wife actually nominated him, Heather. And obviously, I'm sure many of you guys know who Matt is, Vice President over at Local United Way, very involved in disaster relief, been a huge part.
He's actually the chairperson of the Unmet Needs Committee
He is,
underneath the
yes.
Long-Term Recovery
He is.
Organization. I saw him yesterday, and he's just so excited. He's so humbled by the fact that I think yesterday he was actually running second.
Second
He is.
place.
In
He's
this
been in
competition.
second, but we got to get to that
Absolutely.
first.
And the reason we need to do that is there's a $30,000 award
There is.
that goes with that, which Matt has already pledged to disaster
to
relief.
disaster relief
So-
to do a community project. So we're really excited. You guys can vote daily. Vote
Oh,
daily.
you don't just have to vote
Nope,
one.
vote
Okay,
daily.
very good.
Yeah.
Through this Sunday, actually, we've only got a couple more days to make
Yeah.
him number one.
Yeah,
So
and you can vote every day, and I think they check your IP address on your computer, and that's why you vote
Yep.
daily on that one computer. But if
Okay.
you've got a home computer and an office computer, like some folks, you can maybe vote twice a day. If you had two different
Maybe.
If you had, I mean, I'm just throwing that theory out there. I'm not suggesting it may be, but it could happen. I'm thinking theoretically it could.
It
happen.
could.
It could
It
happen.
could.
See.
It could.
But we want Matt to win because he's
We
a
do.
great guy.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
a super fella. Now, I have a note here, other needs, so we still need things.
Oh my goodness, of course we do.
Okay.
The community's been phenomenal, and we have a lot of things that we're able to give as resources to victims, survivors of the disaster. But at this point, like I said already, we need gas cards, we need still cleanup tools and things like that, and also cleanup supplies. I know they were running low. I think we had a couple of organizations drop off some stuff this past week, which was great. And then Gatorade is a big thing. We've got lots of water, but it's good to have those sports drinks for those teams that are working out in this heat.
Stay hydrated.
To
yeah.
stay hydrated and things like that. So those are the big things.
All right.
And furniture.
Yeah, furniture is a big need too. As people start getting placed back in their homes finally, or you're seeing some rebuilding and repairing of homes happening. Furniture is a big need. We had some, but it goes fast.
It
so
does, yeah.
I was there the other day, and we were running low on furniture. So if you have new or gently
Yeah.
used furniture, that would be great.
Yeah, over 1,000 homes affected by the storm. Of course, 285 totally devastated, destroyed, a pile of rubble. And so that means you've got a lot of families, a lot of people who are in need with everything. They have to start their life over. So that's why we need volunteers and we need supplies. And Rochelle's a big part of that.
Let me ask you, the two folks from Lee University that are doing the website, are you familiar with what they're doing?
With the CBCAN website?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah, that's me.
that'd be her.
You, okay, all right.
Yeah.
So this is something new that's going to help everybody
Yeah.
in case of another emergency.
Well, hopefully that doesn't happen for a
I know,
while.
I know.
But yeah, and right now it's a great source of information. If you go to, it's either clevelandbradleycan.com or the easy one is cbcan.com.
CBCAN.com. Okay.
But you can look up news and media and things like that. You can check the needs list there. You can also sign up as an individual or group to volunteer. We've got a new campaign that we're launching with the churches called Adopt One. Like I said earlier, over 150 of these cleanup needs that still exist. So we're asking for at least 100 churches to just adopt one of those needs, to grab a team and get involved there.
Yeah.
So
That's a great idea. That idea was pitched yesterday by William Lamb at the long-term recovery organization. 100 churches adopt one need. We'd get this cleanup done. We'd get the recovery done. And I think that's going to work. I think it was an inspired idea on William's part, or whoever came up with it.
Yeah, Clark Campbell was a huge part of that.
Yeah, great. Well, we got to take a break, Rochelle, but come back and give us an update sometime.
Yes,
I
we
will.
do.
I'd love to.
Yeah,
Thank
we'd
y'all
love
for
to have
having
you
me.
come back, and she's a very important part of what's going on with the recovery. So, Rochelle Mayberry, she's the chair of the Volunteers Relations Committee for the Long-Term Recovery Organization. Pleasure to see you. Thanks for being here today.
Thank
Nice
you,
meeting
guys.
you, and it's great to have you with us today.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll have you back.
All right.
7:17, Rob and Ryan are standing by in the wings, and we hope that the sky doesn't fall in. We'll be back in just a moment.
And at night.